The stadium that defines a city is suddenly the thing that could unravel a season. UEFA has told Barcelona it needs to confirm where it will play its Champions League home matches by August 28. An ultimatum that has transformed routine paperwork into a possible sporting crisis. The iconic Camp Nou, reborn in steel and vision, is tantalizingly close to hosting fans again. Yet it still waits on the final completion certificate that would unlock even a partial reopening. Without that paper, the club cannot welcome supporters back on match nights. Inside the club, the conversation has shifted from celebration to calculation. One option being quietly discussed is what the press calls a dual stadium approach. Montjuïc for European nights, Camp Nou for domestic fixtures. A split identity for the season that would be unprecedented in scale and symbolism. Imagine 2 home grounds, 2 anthems, 1 club trying to make the math work. The reason the debate is so raw is technical and brutal. UEFA rules make it difficult to swap home venues mid-round, which means if Barça doesn't begin their European campaign at Camp Nou, they may be forced to play the entire league phase away from their rebuilt cathedral until knockout rounds. There are concrete dates hovering over every meeting. The club had aimed to welcome fans back around the Valencia fixture in mid-September, with officials eyeing September 13 to 14 as the moment of return, and a phased capacity opening near 27,000, while more sections are certified. That plan depends on paperwork, the completion certificate from builders and sign-off from the City Council. Those signatures have proved stubborn, with engineers and regulators still ticking boxes and identifying work to be finished. Logistics, however, has its own appetite. The Olympic Stadium on Montjuïc, the obvious fallback, is not an empty calendar. A major concert is scheduled there on September 12th, 2 days before the planned Valencia match, which creates a narrow window for turnaround and staffing if Montjuïc must host La Liga or Champions League ties. Suddenly, the city's concert planners and football administrators are forced into the same conversation. And ticketing schedules. Transport corridors and security plans must be reconciled in a matter of days. The result? A schedule that reads less like a sporting season and more like a logistical relay. What does this mean for players, fans, and the club's balance sheet? For players, routine is T. Training and matchday rhythms get knocked askew when the venue changes. For supporters, the emotional weight of being away from Camp Nou, even temporarily, is huge. Season ticket plans, travel, and the simple ritual of singing at one's genuine home all hang in the balance. For the club, every matchday contains revenue calculations. Partial reopening brings income but also costs and risks, while a forced move to Montjuïc or another ground reshapes hospitality and sponsorship commitments. There are a few possible outcomes. Best case, the builders and council sign the completion certificate this week. The partial occupancy license follows, and Camp Nou opens on the Valencia weekend with limited but roaring crowds. Middle case, Camp Nou opens for La Liga, but UEFA insists on Montjuïc for the Champions League group stage, forcing the dual venue reality and some awkward scheduling. Worst case, delays persist. Montjuïc is already committed, and Barcelona must find another way. A different stadium, creative fixture swaps, or political negotiations with city authorities. Each scenario carries reputational and financial weight. What to watch in the next 72 hours? Signatures on the final work certificate, the City Council's occupancy decision, and the club's formal note to UEFA confirming its European home. Those items are small on paper, but decisive in practice. Fans will be watching social feeds and official club channels. But the real deadlines live in the hands of builders, inspectors, and a governing body that will not tolerate ambiguity. At its heart, this is a drama of timing. A stadium project meant to secure Barca's future revenue and prestige now hinges on a few documents and a packed events calendar. Whether the club returns to the Camp Nou with flags and noise in mid-September, splits its identity across 2 venues, or scrambles for another temporary home, the coming days will tell whether careful planning or raw contingency wins the narrative. And that choice will echo across the season in results, revenues, and the emotions of fans who've been waiting to sing again under the same roof.